This particular trip was our first attempt at the Four Pass Loop out of Aspen, Colorado. We caught a late shuttle to Maroon Lake and hiked the 2 miles to Glacier Lake, found a good spot, and set up the first night camp. Our plan was to hike the loop counterclockwise, so that first afternoon we took an exploratory walk towards West Maroon Pass and learned from some other hikers that the pass was blocked by 10-foot horizontal cornices. Turns out we had hit Colorado on a 100-year snowpack. So we opted to do the loop counterclockwise. Day 2, we headed up towards Buckskin Pass. We got to within sight of the pass, just a snow slog up to the top. I stepped off a rock onto the snow, expecting hard-packed snow like in Washington, but sank up past my knees. Looks like the Four Pass Loop was proving itself non-cooperative from every angle. So we found a camp about 3/4 of the way up towards the pass, stayed another night under the North Maroon Peak, then bailed the next day to Snowmass Village. We hiked into Snowmass Lake for 2 more nights. Day hiked up to Traillighter Pass. At least we were able to see part of the loop. Our second attempt was another weather washout. On our way from Rocky Mountain National Park to Aspen, we crossed Independence Pass in a monsoonal torrent. We slogged through lightning, thunder, heavy winds, and quarter-sized raindrops. The thought of hiking through that left us somewhat cold. We got to Aspen and checked the forecast. Looks like we're in for a pattern. The entire coming 7 days was likewise hammered. So we bailed again and made a mad dash across Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and did a nice 4-day trip in the Sierras. So much for the Four Pass Loop. We spent 2 nights here at Snowmass Lake. Our first night we pulled in and found a nice camp. The lake was mostly uncrowded, save for a small group across the lake. At dinner time, we could swear we heard guitar music wafting across the water. The next morning, we packed up for a day hike up to Trail Rider Pass. On our way, we caught up with the group, a father and his 2 daughters, and sure enough, he had an acoustic guitar strapped to his backpack. We hiked most of the way up to the path through snow across steep slopes, which at one point one of the daughters, ankle deep in snow, wailed, "This pass is not passable." Poor girl. We reached the top, Trail Rider Pass, at 12,415 feet, found a relatively snow-free perch among a 360 view of very snow-covered peaks, and parked for a nice lunch spot. And if our 4-pass loop odyssey couldn't get any more surreal, Dad whips out his guitar and serenades us with, yep, you guessed it, Colorado Rocky Mountain High.